Hi, I'm Kristen Gutierrez, author of Be a Better Sales Leader, and I'm here today with Vanessa Cooreman Smith. Vanessa, why don't you introduce yourselves and tell our listeners all about who you are?
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Kristen. I really appreciate it. Like you said, my name is Vanessa Cooreman Smith, and I am the owner of Flourish Interiors. And my husband and I together also own Irish Realty here in South Bend, Indiana, just a few blocks away from the campus of Notre Dame and St. Mary's, where Kristen and I both graduated from. And I own by all standards, a small business, although I like to think of it as medium small. We have about 40 employees between the two companies. And I absolutely love being an entrepreneur and leader. So I'm excited to explore that with you today. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for being here because a lot of the leaders, given that I'm in corporate America, right,
Mm-hmm.
going to be in the corporate America space, but you really are a leader of a very, I would say medium-sized company with a lot
Mm-hmm.
of employees. So tell us a little bit about, your first leadership experience and what that
Okay. Okay, well, just a very brief kind of like bio background. I grew up in family small business. My mom and dad owned their own companies, and they're actually the founders of Irish Realty, the company that Stephen and I run today. And so it's kind of like a second nature to me to be a business owner and a leader of people in that way. So I started working in the family business right out of St. Mary's. And then I actually broke away and started my own boutique called Flourish Boutique. It was a fashion business. And that was really my first introduction to running my own show or my own business and being a leader of people. And I'm really actually glad that I stepped away from the legacy of the family business for a while so that I could spread my wings and learn my own style and discover how I wanted to run my business and so forth. And that was my first experience. And that company I grew to about 25 employees, and it did really well. But eventually I found that I wanted to be more aligned with the family business. So I'm able to pursue my creative and design love through interior design now, which is obviously very well suited to go into a family business that has real estate brokerage. So.
I love that. That's a great background. And thank you for the additional bio context because it leads to
Yeah.
my next question, which is like, how did you learn to be a great leader of people? And you touched on it a little bit, but maybe some more context.
Yeah. So definitely being, being in that background of a family business and so forth, some of it you learn just growing up in that context. So whether it's dinner conversations where you're hearing your mom and dad talk about like, oh, this employee has this problem, like, how do we handle it? Or watching the various ways they would boost company morale or lead people and explore their own leadership. I learned by watching and following in their footsteps. But like I said, breaking away and running my own business, there's nothing like just trying it out yourself. And I definitely found my own footing too. I think leadership and in business has evolved just over time too, where people used to be a little bit more top down. And I think now that people are much more prone to like developing their employees and bringing out the best in them, and actually looking for their well-being and their best development rather than just what's best for the company. So I think I found my own footing in trying to approach it in that manner too.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So, I mean, off script, what are a couple adjectives you would describe yourself as in terms of like your leadership style? Because I've heard some of.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say positive and encouraging. Like I always try and be positive and encouraging. And I'm always trying to find the absolute best, like the best way to develop people and help them flourish. That's my business name, right? And that's one of the reasons I call it that, because I want to help people flourish. I'm always trying to help find the best way they can flourish, but in a way that also grows and blesses our business. And as long as those two things are aligned, I feel like we do, it's like the healthiest possible employee-employer relationship. So every time we have employee reviews, which we're actively in the season of employee reviews at my company right now, we're always talking about like what's their next steps in their career? Are they feeling challenged? Are they growing? And we're always inviting them to offer their own feedback. And I always ask them the question, what makes your heart beat fast at work? Like, what are you enjoying? Or what does a good day look like to you? And I'm always trying to align people with what they really enjoy.
Oh, super inspiring, Vanessa. Thank you for sharing. To wrap it up, if you had to tell your younger leader self something now that you've had several years experience, like what would that advice be?
Yeah, I would say not to be afraid of where someone's personal development and growth will take them. When I had really strong employees in the past, I would almost be worried that they would outgrow me, or that if they were being called to move on from the company, that was like really bad for me. And I was almost like put a chokehold around the people that I thought were the best. And I found that over time, like the more you encourage people to be their best selves, the more they want to be with you, And so the more I invest in my people, and the stronger that relationship is, it becomes more and more dynamic. And so to trust that process, and just to engage and pour into them and invest in them.
Ah, I love it. I love it. And this is why I'm proud to say, and I love that you made the connection to the St. Mary's background that we both have. Vanessa and I were friends in first grade, I think we said,
Yeah.
right?
We go
Yeah,
way back. Yeah.
first grade. And then I've partnered with you on my renovation and real estate project in South Bend. So it's been
Yes.
a joy to work with you and your team. And I can see your leadership styles kind of exude themselves in the relationships that I have with your team members on the ground. So
Awesome. Good. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me today. I really appreciate it. So,
being here. If anybody wants to find you, like on social media, what's your favorite platform and where can they find you?
yeah, I love Instagram, being that we're in design. It's so visual. And our handle is Flourish 2_interiors. So, yep, Flourish Interiors with 2_ in between.
Well, I'll link it in the show notes. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
All right. Thank you, Kristen. Bye bye.